Every year, the NFL sees hundreds of players enter the league. Some come in as highly recruited college superstars, destined for greatness. Others, they take the long road, one filled with challenges, setbacks, and doubt. But for those who stay the course, greatness is still within reach. A few stories capture that underdog spirit, like that of Darius Slay. From a small town in Georgia to a junior college program that most fans have never heard of, to becoming one of the most feared cornerbacks in the NFL. Darius Slay's journey is one of resilience, talent, and pure determination. Today, we're diving deep into the story of how a community college standout fought his way into the league and became one of the best corners in the game. Stay tuned, because this is a story of grit, determination, and undeniable talent. Before the NFL, before the Pro Bowls, and before the nickname Big Play Slay, there was just a kid from Brunswick, Georgia with big dreams and even bigger talent. Darius Demetrius Slay Jr. was born on January 1st, 1991. He grew up in this small coastal town where football wasn't just a sport, it was a way of life. Growing up, Slay was naturally gifted, fast, explosive, and instinctive. He had the kind of athleticism that made coaches take notice early. But even then, few could have predicted that this small-town kid would one day go toe-to-toe with the best wide receivers in the world. At Brunswick High School, Slay quickly became one of the most electrifying players in the state. Playing as both a running back and a defensive back, he was a true dual-threat athlete, terrorizing defenses with his speed and shutting down receivers with his natural coverage skills. Coaches knew he was something special. His speed, unreal. His ability to read plays, instinctive. His playmaking skills, elite. And it didn't take long for the awards to start piling up. First team All-State selection, Defensive Player of the Year in Georgia, over 1,300 yards rushing as a senior, multiple interceptions, and defensive touchdowns. One of Slay's defining high school moments came when he returned an interception 80 yards for a touchdown in a playoff game, sealing the win for Brunswick High. It was the type of play that had scouts taking notes, but despite his talent, he wasn't flooded with offers from top-tier college programs. Why? Grades. Slay's academic struggles meant that many major programs overlooked him. Instead of heading straight to a powerhouse university, he was forced to take a different route. One that would test his resilience and determination like never before. And that's when he landed at Itawamba Community College, a place that would change his life forever. For many high school football stars, the road to the NFL runs through major college programs: Alabama, LSU, Ohio State. But for Darius Slay, that path took an unexpected detour. Despite his undeniable talent, academic struggles meant the Division I programs weren't lining up to offer him scholarships. Instead, Slay found himself at a lesser-known school, Itawamba Community College in Fulton, Mississippi. Itawamba might not be a household name, but for Slay, it was a second chance, a place where he could prove to the world and himself that he belonged among the best. Junior college football is different. The facilities aren't as glamorous, the stadiums aren't packed with 80,000 screaming fans, and national TV cameras aren't rolling. But the competition, it's real. For many players, JUCO ball is a last shot at making it into the big leagues, and Slay took that opportunity and ran with it. Literally. From the moment he stepped on the field at Itawamba, Slay made his presence felt. He was fast, dangerously fast, and his instincts as a cornerback were razor sharp. It didn't take long for coaches, teammates, and scouts to realize that he was special. First Team Mississippi Association Community and Junior Colleges All-State, National Junior College Athletic Association All-Region 23 honors, led the team in interceptions and pass breakups, flashing elite speed and lockdown coverage skills. It was here at Itawamba that Slay truly refined his game. He developed the footwork, the ball hawking ability, and the confidence needed to go against top-tier talent. And most importantly, he fixed the one thing that held him back: his academics. Determined not to let grades derail his dream again, Slay put in the work both on and off the field. And when Division I scouts came calling, he was finally ready. One game, one play. That's all it takes to get noticed. and during his second season at Itawamba, Slay delivered one of the most electrifying performances of his JUCO career, sealing his place as one of the best defensive backs in the country. By the time his sophomore season ended, SEC schools were finally paying attention. With multiple offers on the table, Slay made a life-changing decision to take his talents to the SEC and play for Mississippi State. The underdog from Brunswick had officially arrived on the big stage. After 2 dominant seasons at Itawamba Community College, Darius Slay had earned his shot at Division I football, and in 2011, he made the move to the SEC, transferring to Mississippi State University. This was it, the big leagues of college football. The competition was tougher, the crowds were louder, and the pressure sky high. For many JUCO players, the transition to Division I can be overwhelming. The speed of the game is faster, the athletes are bigger and stronger, and every week, you're facing future NFL stars. But Slay, he thrived in the challenge. Stepping onto the field at Mississippi State, Slay knew he had something to prove. He wasn't a 5-star recruit, he wasn't a household name, but he had a chip on his shoulder, and that chip fueled his hunger to dominate. His first year in 2011 was all about learning. He played in all 12 games, mostly a rotational role, gaining valuable experience against some of the best receivers in the country. But by his senior year in 2012, he wasn't just another guy in the secondary. He was the guy. In his senior season, Slay became a nightmare for quarterbacks. He recorded 6 interceptions, returning 2 for touchdowns. His speed, instincts, and ability to read offenses made him one of the top defensive backs in the SEC. 6 interceptions in 2012 among SEC leaders. 2 pick sixes, showing his elite return ability. 40 tackles, proving his physicality and tackling skills. 11 passes defended, showing his shutdown coverage skills. By the end of the 2012 season, the NFL was officially on notice. Slay's combination of speed, ball hawking ability, and playmaking instincts had scouts circling his name on their draft boards. But there was one moment that truly separated him from the rest: his NFL Combine performance. Next up, the NFL draft process, and Slay was about to turn even more heads with a jaw-dropping performance. April 26, 2013, the NFL Draft, a defining moment for hundreds of young athletes who spend their entire lives dreaming of this day. And for Darius Slay, this was the final hurdle, one last test to prove he belonged among the best. Slay wasn't a first-round pick. He wasn't one of the big-name prospects that analysts hyped up, but that didn't matter to him. He was officially an NFL player, and the real work was just beginning. Adjusting to the NFL is never easy, especially as a cornerback. You're lined up against some of the best athletes in the world, expected to shut down elite receivers week after week. And Slay's rookie season, it wasn't perfect. He struggled early on. As a rookie, he found himself benched at times, learning the hard way that the NFL is an unforgiving league. But if there's one thing about Darius Slay, it's that he doesn't back down from a challenge. Despite early struggles, Slay worked tirelessly to improve. He studied film, refined his technique, and earned the trust of the coaching staff. And by 2014, things started clicking. September 28, 2014, against the New York Jets, Slay recorded his first career interception, a moment every defensive back dreams of. It was a sign of things to come, because from that point on, he was no longer just a young corner finding his way. He was becoming a true playmaker. By 2015, Slay had officially taken over as the Lions' #1 cornerback. The confidence was there, the technique was refined, and opposing quarterbacks, they started thinking twice before throwing his way. 2 interceptions, 13 passes defended, 59 tackles. Established as Detroit's top cornerback. With his speed, ball hawking ability, and leadership on the field, Slay was no longer just a rising star. He was becoming one of the best in the game. By 2017, Darius Slay was no longer just a solid starting cornerback. He was a problem for quarterbacks, a lockdown defender, a true game changer. The 2017 season was special. Slay wasn't just good, he was dominant. He led the entire NFL with 8 interceptions and 26 pass deflections. Quarterbacks tested him, and they paid the price. From deep ball takeaways to clutch game-sealing interceptions, Slay proved that he wasn't just Detroit's best defender, he was one of the best in the league. 8 interceptions, 26 pass deflections, 56 tackles, first-team All-Pro honors, first Pro Bowl selection. This level of play couldn't be ignored. Slay was officially recognized as a first-team All-Pro, putting him in the same conversation as the NFL's greatest defensive backs. And for the first time in his career, he was selected to the Pro Bowl. Slay wasn't just a one-year wonder. In 2018 and 2019, he continued to dominate, earning back-to-back Pro Bowl selections. His ability to shadow elite receivers, read the quarterback's eyes, and make some game-changing plays cemented his reputation as a true lockdown corner. Offenses had to game plan around him. Receivers knew they were in for a long day when number 23 lined up across from them. And by 2019, Slay had solidified himself as one of the best cornerbacks of his era. After years of locking down receivers in Detroit, Darius Slay was on the move. In March 2020, the Philadelphia Eagles made a blockbuster trade, sending 3rd and 5th round picks to the Lions in exchange for one of the best cornerbacks in the game. The Eagles knew exactly what they were getting, a veteran playmaker who could instantly elevate their secondary, and Slay wasted no time proving his worth. His impact went beyond the stats. Slay became a mentor for young players, a vocal leader in the locker room, and the guy the Eagles trusted to shut down the league's best wide receivers. By 2022, Slay was at the peak of his game. He wasn't just a solid veteran, he was still playing like an elite shutdown corner. And then his signature game. In a primetime matchup against the Minnesota Vikings, Slay put on an absolute masterclass. His target, one of the most dominant receivers in the game, Justin Jefferson. From the opening snap, Slay made it clear Jefferson wasn't getting anything easy. Then, in the second quarter, Slay struck. But he wasn't done. In the fourth quarter, he did it again. 2 interceptions, 5 pass breakups, absolute domination. And the result? Slay was named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. After years of being one of the most respected corners in the NFL, Darius Slay was finally on the biggest stage of them all, Super Bowl 59. Philadelphia had been a powerhouse all season. Their defense, anchored by Slay and James Bradbury in the secondary, was one of the most feared in the NFL. With Jalen Hurts leading the offense and Slay locking down top receivers, the Eagles cruised through the playoffs, setting up a Super Bowl showdown with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Super Bowl 59 was a battle of two titans. On one side, you had the reigning champions, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. On the other, the hungry, battle-tested Eagles, ready to reclaim the Lombardi Trophy. From the very first play, Slay made his presence felt. With Mahomes looking for his go-to target, Travis Kelce, Slay and the Eagles secondary had to step it up. And they did. With time winding down in the fourth quarter, the Chiefs were driving. Mahomes, as always, was looking for a game-breaking moment. But Slay had other plans. Slay read the play perfectly, used his elite speed, and made a crucial deflection that forced the Chiefs to settle for a field goal instead of a potential go-ahead touchdown. That stop turned out to be one of the biggest plays in the game, and it kept the Eagles in control. When the final whistle blew, Philadelphia was on top of the football world. The Eagles had done it. They were Super Bowl champions. For Darius Slay, this was more than just a championship. It was validation. Validation that his journey from community college in Mississippi to the grand stage in football had all been worth it. A kid from Brunswick, Georgia, who was once overlooked, had now reached the pinnacle of the sport. From a small-town kid in Brunswick, Georgia, to a community college underdog, to one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, Darius Slay's journey is the definition of perseverance. He faced setbacks, he was overlooked, but he never stopped grinding. And now, he's a Super Bowl champion and a cornerstone of one of the league's toughest defenses. His story proves that no matter where you start, if you stay focused, adaptable, and relentless, you can achieve greatness. But the question is, where does Slay go from here? Will he continue locking down receivers in Philly, or will he take his talents somewhere else for the next chapter of his career? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Where do you think Slay will play next? And what's your favorite Darius Slay moment? And if you love inspiring NFL stories like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video.